First of all, let me just say a few things off the cuff. I'm prepared speech. I thought I might have the time to do one, but I don't. I do want to. Was that good? I'm not sitting down. That doesn't encourage me. So let me just say this. First of all, there's a lot. I don't know what the number is, but there's a lot of us here from our youth, from the mid 70s to early 80s, 76 to 80. There's some that are here that are a little bit older, maybe some that are quite a bit younger. If you look at the Facebook account, if you have a Facebook account, you go into Facebook, you'll see there's like 56 members in our Facebook account. Some of them you may not know because they came along a little after we did, but some of them will recognize their families. So we're really talking about an era, I think, that most of us are familiar with, and it probably stems from about 76 to 83, somewhere in that neighborhood, which was my high school years and the years that closely followed after that. There's a couple things I really want to say from my heart that I think probably represents most of the kids, if you will, from our era. And that is the folks that were our teachers and leaders, our clay molders, my parents, crying out loud of all people.
We understand, Mark.
They really shaped us, whether they like it or not. They shaped us into what we are today. You, just like our parents, had an incredible amount of influence on us as not just as young people, but still influence us today, I guarantee you. You influence us today. Some of the things that we do as adults right now are direct reflection of what you taught us and the way you raised us. The way y'all raised us in this church, in this building,
That chapter and
in
verse.
this location. and a good example, it just stems right from that. Jerry and Jenny were teachers for us, and they would teach our church training classes a lot of times, and we'd get into debates. That had to be your favorite thing to do, is just bring up a topic and ask a question. And then he would sit there on that podium, leaning over that podium with a smirk. Y'all remember this? And somebody would give an answer or an opinion, and he'd say, chapter and verse. And then he would stand up and he would look at something else, and he'd start talking about something else while you're sitting there going through your Bible trying to find out where it is that you believe. And then he comes up with another question. You're going, and he goes, oh, okay, where's the chapter and verse? And you'd say, no, I haven't answered that one. Go, not until you give me the answer to the other one. Somebody else has to answer this question. So Candace and I have had the fortunate opportunity to be involved in ministry over the last 30 some odd years in a couple of different ways. And one of them is teaching youth, and sometimes it's teaching adults. And we were asked to do a marriage enrichment class after we'd been married less than 5 years. And you're going, you're sitting there looking at, what do I know about marriage enrichment, But what we learned was, or what we taught was some of the things that we learned from all of you. And the things that we had hoped to instill not only in the folks that we were supposedly teaching and learning with at the time, and we would instill in our own lives. So I'd like to just first of all say a strong, heartfelt thank you and huge hug of gratitude for all that y'all did for us. And I hate to tell you that I probably failed as a parent and a leader in comparison in the way that we lead our youth and allow the churches, the changes that occur in churches today just are not the same as they were. And I think now as I look back on these last several months, I think, our parents just are not involved the way y'all were. Y'all were so loving, so kind. We had so many parties at our house. We have pictures of everybody around the pool table and ping pong and all of that.
I was going to say, you never know how much it meant to us to have y'all in our home back then, and how much we miss now, today, that fellowship and friendship that we had. And we just love every last one of them.
Yeah, that's the truth. So a big thanks to the teachers and leaders, but in addition to what y'all have done for us, some of our own folks have gone into their lives and their careers in different areas. I wouldn't feel right if I left here today without recognizing the folks that have either been in the military or are currently serving in the military. Particularly at this time, it's got to be some of the toughest work to do, because as they well know a whole lot better than I do, because I did not serve in the military, but I love the folks who do. I really appreciate you, and I want you to know that if you are a member of my childhood era and generation, and you served, and if you're a teacher even that's here with us today, and you've served in the military in some kind of way, I'd like to ask you to stand up for us for just a minute, because I'd like to at least
Or those that are serving now.
recognition. That's right. If you're serving now or have ever served in the military, would you please stand up? Fantastic. Thanks.
When do you have to be back from the work release program? Did you tell me it was 6 o'clock?
How many steps are you at now?
That's all I can do right now in this point in my life is just say thank you for your service. Also, you know, some of the things that y'all taught us, encouraged us, and caused us to have to send you a message. Encouraged us. This is my niece's daughter. This is my great niece, I guess. This is Rebecca's daughter, Chloe. You say hi? Yeah. Anyway, the way you taught us and raised us, and the things that we've learned, several probably are in some kind of way involved in a church ministry. So I'd like to, and this is directly related to full-time ministry, if you will. We'll just start with that. How many of you are involved in full-time ministry? Is Tim, you're not the only one, are you?
I retired after.
Friends, stand up, okay? Even if you're a teacher, if you've now gone into full-time ministry. So Tim's the only one right now. Jimbo's not here. We thought we might see him. Tim's pastoring a church not far from where I live in Burgaw.
Right.
Burgaw, North Carolina. It's just north of Wilmington. If you don't know, that's where Candace and I are now. Everybody does know I married Candace Thomas.
We figured it out.
How's that the way?
She has 3 boys.
Everyone except Candace.
About that.
Luke and Andrew are our 2 younger ones, and I'm her oldest one. We still keep around as much as we can. It's a lot of fun. You know, we'd be missing a little bit something if we didn't take some. You guys have always made our gatherings very exciting and fun. And you know, we'd go Christmas time. We always had that white elephant. Y'all remember that? The white elephant gifts that you do at Christmas time. Mm-hmm. Well, I thought the first time we were in Louisiana and we were going to have a Christmas party, we mentioned that, and it was like, what are you talking about? So folks in Louisiana now do that because the Amens came to me and took it with us. And, they didn't know it whenever we got there. Not in Baton Rouge they didn't, but they do now. And so we came back towards North Carolina and towards the Carolinas and found out that a few more people know about that than did in Louisiana. So you always had fun games, fun things for us to do. And of course, Miss Carlene wouldn't let me get away from here without some of that. So she's jotted down a couple of questions. We're going to ask some questions. We don't want anyone to be offended by anything. We just want you to ask and have some fun, if you will. But because my eyes are going a little bit.
And he's too vain to wear his glasses.
Don't I look good without them?
You look better with them, Warren.
She's gonna whisper the questions. And
Before I do, how many of you remember the Hawaiian luau? Surely. And you know what? I'd forgotten until I looked at some pictures of Kim. There was one of Kim. And when I looked at being a woman, I looked at her moo-moo. And I thought, was that one of my mamas? On the form around the house, you know, that's what we call them. And then I realized it actually came from Hawaii. It was one in my family somewhere. But Mark didn't remember until I showed him the picture.
Yeah.
But some of you didn't remember that. But I bet you don't remember. Dated. Oh, speaking of dating. You know what? Talking about the get-togethers. So a lot of them I've forgotten about, but the ones that kind of stick. You remember the Arants, they had more money than we did.
They live on the other side of the
They
river.
lived in.
What do they do with all of it?
Where did they live?
I'm sorry, nobody told me I had more money than
But
you.
listen, they did because they lived in Otranto. It was a three-story house. First one in our family circle that had a microwave. Flat top. The flat
Wait.
top. And you remember, I told Fritz, I said, I remember when we went that day, we heard they had it, we were excited, and it looked just like a box with a little window in it. And I don't know if it was Vernon or Veda or if it was one of the boys said, don't stand in front of it. And to this day, I think about, don't stand in front of that
And
microwave.
they stood there for 30 minutes waiting on the picture.
Well, let me just say this about that. That microwave was not store-bought. My dad built that
Oh, that's right, I
microwave.
forgot he did.
He put it together.
Let's hear it for Vernon.
But he did technology.
That's my son.
The reason we knew they had more money than we did, they had a maid.
Oh, Miss Mary.
And here's Veda's
Miss
reason
Mary.
for having a maid. She said she was too busy.
That she was.
To clean her house, she had a maid. She was busy and traveling or moving around all the time.
Moving and shaking, Mom.
Probably because the boys made too much.
That's right,
Okay, we've
Y'all
gone
don't
too
know
far.
how much and the holes in the walls.
You know, one more thing, and I'm not going to cry about this, but I do want to say, Mark was thanking all of you who meant so much to them. And I'm so grateful my girls grew up in the environment.
married one of me.
Well, we all make our mistakes in life.
But anyway, I think about all of you, Jeannie and Jerry, even Veda had some influence on mine. But, you know, and Linda and Robert and Harold, Spook, and Judy. You know, even to this day.
He's not Spook
you know,
anymore?
when certain things come up, you know,
Play
our
squirrel
minds
is not
go back
squirrel.
to what they learned. And I'll tell you just one thing, and not to exclude the rest of you, but like every time I mention to Robin about, we've only been in 2 churches, Fritz and I, since we've been married, and I'll mention puppets. Well, immediately, Judy comes up and Harold, because that's where she got her foundation working with puppets. And so, you know, you've never been forgotten, you know, and I'm sure everybody would say that.
Y'all remember the sign, Jerry ain't mad at nobody? Jerry and I use that a lot. We say, Jerry, did you?
Yeah, and for those of you who don't remember, that was on the front of Jerry's stuff.
And humiliated the girls.
I thought that was his life's goal.
That was, the sign was almost worse than having a goat in your backyard.
Worse than one. Oh, I remember that goat.
All right, for this event, so here's the first question. For this event, the question is, who came from the furthest away for this event today?
Outside of the stage.
Just say, okay, so people came from, let's start with people, if you came from out of state, stand up. Is that a problem?
Good, okay.
So, I know we came from North Carolina. What's it at?
North Carolina.
That's 187 miles. Our trip was 187.
Mine's 232.
232, everybody ready? 232. Georgia? Whereabouts Georgia?
Up near Rome and Dalton.
Rome, Italy?
Georgia.
Georgia?
I did do 80.
Okay, so
Took
we're
about 5 hours.
Smithfield, okay, so I'm thinking Georgia's probably. No, don't sit down, don't sit down yet, don't sit down. I think, the North Carolina ones might be. 285? Do you know how many miles it was?
5 hours for us.
They're right up Virginia line, so stay
I think
up.
about
What
500.
about you?
500?
He said about 250. We're past all of that.
Ruth, where'd y'all come
There's
from?
only 2 jam. We come from St. Mary's, Georgia.
St. Mary's,
Down
Georgia?
around Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah.
Second oldest city in the
So
world.
Alan, you can take up a little fun before you leave to go back.
Do what you say?
Thank you.
No, we didn't.
Take the leftover food.
Thank you, Alan. This is the best thing to do because this is a very informal meeting.
Ed wants you.
I'm sorry, Ed?
I remember two things at this church that's marked in my head. This is the first place that I taught Sunday school.
That's right.
How about that?
Guess what I'm still doing?
Teaching
Sunday school. Now it's Sunday, it's senior men's class at Somerville.
Well, some of these would be that.
Now the other
This is important.
one, this is the
Some of us.
womanless wedding. I laughed so hard. I know, I laughed so hard, my inside of my
The womanless wedding.
A womanless wedding.
The womanless wedding.
Yes, Jerry.
Yeah, and one time for the sweetheart banquet, I was dressed up like a fairy princess with a.
All right.
Mr. Brown, if my mother was here, she would tell a story on you that would embarrass you to death in that womanless wedding.
All right, so the next question
themselves.
is this related to the youth.
This is the youth.
All right, so we're not trying to be ugly, but we're going to sort of refine this a little bit. And this will be something for you to look back as teachers and all that kind of stuff. So this is directly related to the folks that were in the youth group. And the question is, out of the youth that we grew up with, who has the most,
Who has grandchildren?
who has the most grandchildren? That's where we're headed.
Three or more.
So let's start off.
This podcast is big.
Let's start off with who has more than,
Anybody have more than six?
Alan's excluded.
You can only win one prize.
Hey, it's only by marriage, okay? They're not on mine.
Go back, go ahead. Go
How
ahead.
many do you have?
We'll allow it.
more than 6? 9?
Can you name them?
No.
Grandmother
Really?
Jerry,
Okay.
name him.
All right, who
Can't
has,
you?
anybody have more than 9? Anybody have 8? 7?
Wait.
Yes. 7?
Can you name all?
Jerry has 7. Terry will not miss.
Terry, can you name yours? You can name yours, Terry?
Brianna, Elena, Landon, Emma, Maddie, and Jackson.
She's looking for help.
She remembered earlier today.
And Dustin.
Okay. She's making some of those up. I could have made up some names.
I'm going to ask this one because he feels embarrassed. Okay, I forget who at the table come up with this.
You did?
No, I
Get
didn't.
over the hall.
Kim did. All right, what is your secret that you can tell for staying young? Excluding, it doesn't, your gray hair doesn't count, Mark. In other words, do you have a secret that you can
Patty of
tell?
Olay.
Huh?
Patty of Olay.
Do they sell it in the gallery? Well, there was somebody else going to ask while you're thinking. I know who
Where
it
can I
was.
buy
It was
that from,
Harold's.
You
Because
married to-
honestly, when you came in, I thought, it almost seems like a few years